Daniel Goldman. And Daniel, here is Professor Lawrence Tribe up at Harvard Law School. He says this tonight: challenging assignment. Explain why this isn't criminal obstruction of justice and of Congress committed in plain sight. Daniel, I don't have a degree from Harvard Law School, or now that I think of it, any college, and you are a lawyer and not a politician. So let me ask it this way. That seems right to me. The Democrats have been Charlie Browned by the Republicans at every turn for going on, 5+ years. Lay out for us what the committee can possibly do, can really do, real consequences beyond kind of vague threats and promises.
Well, the committee doesn't have that many options, but one option that is available that was not really available in the last Congress when I worked for the House is to refer over these witnesses to the Department of Justice to initiate criminal contempt proceedings, which is a whole different animal than enforcement in court through either civil contempt or a civil enforcement action by Congress. Let's just take a step back here, because there are sort of two things going on in parallel. One is Donald Trump, an ordinary citizen of the United States, is intervening in an official proceeding and trying to influence others not to cooperate with an official proceeding. That is obstruction of justice. And because he is no longer the president, when he did that, when I worked for the House, he had the patina of being the president of the United States and being able to invoke executive privilege. He no longer has that. So he is interfering in this investigation with absolutely no basis to do so. As for the witnesses themselves, they would like, of course, to rely on this assertion of executive privilege, which Donald Trump cannot exert right now, in order to avoid having to testify. I would wait, if I were in the House right now, I would wait until next week when they were subpoenaed to sit for a deposition. And then I would refer that over to the Department of Justice for them to consider initiating criminal contempt proceedings, which could result in the witnesses going to jail. This is very serious. This is much more akin to if you violate a grand jury subpoena than what we've seen in the past. And real briefly, Brian, the reason to wait for that is that there was a recent opinion in the Don McGahn case, which basically said that there is no such thing as absolute immunity. So there is no basis for these witnesses not to show up to Congress. They can try to invoke executive privilege when they are there, but they cannot just defy the subpoena at all. It's a much more straightforward and simple case than dealing with these documents.